Attorney General, I wanted to ask you, in your mind, when you talk about hiring and filling vacancies, that seems to be one big hole. How do you fill these vacancies? Because most people believe these vacancies have not been filled for many years, simply because either there is some sort of vested interest hurdle or there are just not enough competent people. How will you overnight develop these competent people to fill these enormous number of vacancies?
The vision statement makes it very clear that we are going to draw people from various sources. There is a vast pool of retired judges' talent. There is also the need to consider appointing members of the bar as temporary judges, because we want to have judges for the next 3 years to remove the arrears. So they can be taken in, and a person may not be willing to commit his life to the judiciary for the rest of his life, but he would certainly be willing to give 2-3 years to do judicial work in the larger interests of the nation. So these are the innovative measures that we are thinking about to implement.
It seems to be a bit like the way army recruits its people, that you come for short-term services, you serve the nation in some senses, you also have a learning curve there. Is that the methodology, is that the thought process that you're looking at?
Well, I mean, I think that subject to 2 criteria. One is that the selection of a judge in any case has got to be merit-oriented. When we are talking about annihilation of areas, we are not going to compromise on quality. We are going to therefore undertake quality selection. And obviously, we are going to look at people who are going to be able to deliver the goods. We are also thinking of training the inductees so that they can really deal with the issues at hand as quickly as possible. So we have actually different sources which are available to us. We might have to do a bit of a mix and a match, but the purpose is that we have a pool available, we have resources available, and if we have the will, and it is very manifest today that the judiciary also has the will to be able to look at this message very urgently and invite, shall we say, special recruitments of judges, and if it happens, it is bound to bring down areas. There's no other way we can bring down areas.
What is the big challenge in implementing this vision? It's a dynamic, forward-looking vision. Where do you have to begin? It's a big task. What do you believe is the starting point?
Once the systems are in place, we need to implement it. What is required? 3 elements. Number 1, the manpower. Manpower doesn't come by nature. Manpower will have to be nurtured. That requires a lot of systemic improvement in terms of training and capacity building. That we are at it. Number 2, with regard to the infrastructure, both physical and also the software, that needs to be placed in, because this is the age of IT, and the ICT will have to play a greater role in administration of justice. Third one is with regard to the question of the procedural changes. The change of law many a time. There are certain things which will be definitely a hurdle to for accessibility of justice, and also make things difficult, so that they are just built up like a bureaucratic pyramid. So that needs to be dismantled. That is why these 3 things are very important. We are addressing all the 3 elements so that things can definitely take forward.
Okay, my last question to all 3 of you, beginning with the Minister. Finally, do you believe the change must happen in the mind, the attitude must change?
Yeah, you are no preamble said, first sentence is, wars are fought in the minds of the people first, then outside. That's how the mindset should change. Then only it can come. I think now the country is poised for a change of the mindset. The manifestation of these 2 days consultation, we has given a confidence to us that the mindset can be changed.
Can the mindset be changed? Can the mindset of the state as a litigant can also be changed?
No, I think the mindset will change. And one thing I would like to emphasize as far as the Indian judicial system is concerned, we shouldn't really look at it only from one point of view. Yes, there are delays, there are arrears, but the judicial system works. The higher superior courts of our country are the repositories of enforcement of fundamental rights.
That's right.
Under Article 32, you can go to the Supreme Court. Under Article 226, you go to the High Courts. And the record of the Supreme Court in enforcing fundamental rights, the record of the High Courts has been exemplary.
Sure.
So the system does work. Let's not have an impression that the system doesn't work. And if the system can work as the only real system in the whole of Asia which guarantees rule of law, I see no reason why it should not work for the rest of it.
Okay. Last word, Gopal Subramaniam. The system can work. One thing you need to do to ensure, implement, put the whip so that the system actually works in this new dynamic vision.
The striving is really to see that just as the Attorney General mentioned, the Supreme Court works, the High Courts work. They have to continue to work. They have to continue to fulfill that aspiration. We are sure that they will. But we also have to deal with aspirations of many others who are unattended. And that is the constituency which we are addressing. We are dealing with people who do not have sufficient access, who are not able to bring their cases to court or cannot get it pursued in court properly. Now, that is the segment which we are looking at. Now, how can we look at it effectively or constructively? It's possible only through coordination with the judiciary. The very fact that today the judiciary and the executive are sitting across the table, wanting to make a coordinated effort, I think is one of the best benchmarks of democracy. And I think if we are able to actually take this forward, we would be strengthening not only the judiciary, we would be strengthening democracy in a very major and substantial way.
Well, I certainly hope so. My best of luck to all three of you gentlemen. A really emphatic and innovative vision statement. Congratulations. All the very best. We want to see that the reform system begins in the justice system in this country. Thanks very much indeed. Remember, for the first time on television, the entire power center of legal affairs of the UPA government only on Bloomberg UTV. Thanks very much indeed.